The most dangerous enemies in your life will never introduce themselves as enemies. They will arrive smiling, laughing, supporting you loudly in public, while secretly studying your weaknesses in private. Machiavelli understood this better than most men, because he lived surrounded by political deception, betrayal, and hidden ambition. He watched alliances collapse overnight. He watched trusted friends become silent traitors. And he realized something terrifying about human nature. The people closest to you often have the clearest view of how to destroy you. That is why Machiavelli never judged loyalty by words. He judged it by patterns, by behavior, by pressure, because fake friends are rarely exposed during comfortable moments. They reveal themselves slowly when envy, insecurity, or self-interest begins controlling them. Most people never notice this transformation until betrayal finally becomes obvious. But Machiavelli believed intelligent people learn to spot the psychological traps early, before the damage is done, before trust becomes a weapon used against them. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so obedient to present necessities that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." That line is brutal because it exposes something uncomfortable. Many people are betrayed not because they are weak, but because they desperately want loyalty to be real. So they ignore the signs. They excuse the inconsistencies. They silence their instincts just to protect emotional comfort. But fake friends survive through your denial. They rely on your willingness to ignore what your intuition already understands. Think about how fake friendships usually begin. Everything feels genuine at first. They show interest in your life. They support your struggles. They make you feel understood. But Machiavelli would warn you that attention is not loyalty. Some people study you emotionally not because they care, but because understanding your emotions gives them influence over you later. The more they know about your fears, insecurities, ambitions, and weaknesses, the easier you become to manipulate. And most people hand over this information freely, because emotional connection lowers caution naturally. Machiavelli saw this repeatedly among rulers and advisors. The ruler who trusted too quickly usually suffered betrayal first, because fake loyalty is easy to perform temporarily. Real loyalty reveals itself only over time and pressure. This is why Machiavelli valued observation more than emotional attachment. He understood that behavior always exposes hidden intentions eventually. A fake friend may support you publicly, but subtly compete with you privately. They may compliment your success while secretly resenting your progress. They may smile at your victories while emotionally shrinking inside every time others admire you. Envy is one of the clearest psychological traps Machiavelli understood, because envy rarely speaks honestly. It hides behind support. It disguises itself as concern. It pretends to celebrate you while quietly hoping you fail. And this is why some people become strangely uncomfortable when your life improves. Your confidence irritates them. Your discipline exposes them. Your growth reminds them of everything they failed to become themselves. Machiavelli would say this is where fake friendship begins cracking. Pressure reveals character eventually. Success creates pressure. Power creates pressure. Attention creates pressure. And under pressure, hidden intentions leak through behavior no matter how carefully someone hides them. Watch carefully how people react when others praise you. Watch who becomes distant after your success. Watch who suddenly minimizes your achievements or changes the subject whenever your progress is mentioned. Machiavelli believed these details matter because fake friends often reveal themselves emotionally before they reveal themselves openly. The average person ignores these signs because they fear accepting the truth. Because accepting the truth means realizing not everyone around you genuinely wants the best for you. And that realization hurts. But Machiavelli believed painful awareness is safer than comfortable blindness. Another deadly trap fake friends use is emotional dependency. Some people slowly position themselves as emotionally necessary in your life. They become your source of reassurance, validation, or comfort. And once dependency forms, manipulation becomes easier, because now your emotions become connected to their approval. Machiavelli understood this deeply in political alliances. The more emotionally dependent someone became, the easier they became to control. This is why powerful people throughout history protected emotional independence carefully. Not because they lacked emotion, but because emotional dependency weakens judgment. Fake friends often exploit this without you realizing it. They encourage vulnerability but secretly collect information. They listen carefully to your weaknesses but rarely reveal their own. They create emotional closeness while maintaining strategic distance themselves. Machiavelli would say this imbalance is dangerous because it gives one person psychological access while the other remains protected. And eventually that imbalance becomes power. Think about how some people react when you struggle. Real friends support quietly without needing advantage from your weakness. Fake friends often become strangely energized by your failures. Not openly. Subtly, your struggles make them feel superior again. Your confusion restores their confidence. And Machiavelli understood something brutal about insecure people. They often prefer your weakness over your success because your success threatens their identity. This is why fake friends sometimes sabotage indirectly. They give poor advice disguised as support. They encourage distraction when you need discipline. They normalize your bad decisions because your downfall makes them feel emotionally safer. Machiavelli believed intelligent people pay close attention to the energy people bring into their lives, because influence changes direction quietly over time. The wrong people slowly weaken focus, confidence, and ambition without obvious confrontation. And once your thinking weakens, manipulation becomes easier. But Machiavelli also understood something even darker. Fake friends rarely reveal themselves fully until opportunity appears. Opportunity changes people. Money changes people. Power changes people. Attention changes people. Someone may appear loyal for years until circumstances finally give them a chance to benefit from betraying you. And that is when masks disappear completely. This is why Machiavelli never trusted appearances alone. He trusted patterns under pressure, because pressure reveals what comfort hides. And once you truly understand this, your entire perspective changes. You stop trusting instantly. You stop oversharing emotionally. You stop confusing closeness with loyalty. Instead, you begin observing quietly, strategically, like Machiavelli himself. But spotting fake friends is only the beginning, because once you learn how fake people think, you begin discovering something even more disturbing. Some of the most dangerous manipulation happens long before betrayal becomes visible. The most dangerous fake friends are not the loud betrayers. They are the patient ones, the ones who wait, the ones who study your habits quietly while pretending loyalty. Machiavelli understood this deeply because he lived in a world where deception was often more valuable than honesty. He watched men smile at each other during the day and secretly plan each other's destruction at night. And from those observations, he discovered something terrifying about human nature. Manipulation works best when it feels like friendship. That is why fake friends rarely attack openly at first. They weaken you slowly, psychologically, emotionally, strategically, and most people never realize it is happening until their confidence, focus, and peace are already damaged. Machiavelli believed intelligent people pay attention not only to actions, but to emotional patterns. Because fake friends often reveal themselves through subtle psychological traps long before betrayal becomes obvious. One of the darkest traps is controlled encouragement. A fake friend does not always discourage you directly. Sometimes they encourage you toward the wrong direction intentionally. They support your distractions. They normalize your laziness. They applaud your emotional decisions, while secretly knowing those decisions will damage your future later. Why? Because your weakness benefits them. Machiavelli understood that insecure people often prefer seeing others remain average, because average people feel less threatening. This is why some fake friends become uncomfortable the moment your discipline increases. Suddenly your growth changes the emotional balance. Your confidence reminds them of their excuses. Your progress forces them to confront their own stagnation. And many people would rather sabotage your momentum than confront themselves honestly. Machiavelli saw this repeatedly among political allies. Men supported each other only while their power remained balanced. But the moment one person began rising too quickly, hidden resentment appeared immediately, because human beings often tolerate equality more comfortably than superiority. Watch carefully how certain people react when your life improves. Fake friends may still smile, but their energy changes. Compliments become forced. Support becomes inconsistent. Small jokes begin carrying hidden disrespect. Machiavelli would say envy always leaks eventually because emotions are difficult to hide forever. The fake friend starts minimizing your achievements subtly. They change the subject when others praise you. They remind you of old mistakes whenever you become confident. And slowly, without obvious confrontation, they begin trying to reduce your psychological momentum. This is not accidental. It is emotional self-protection disguised as friendship. Another trap Machiavelli understood is strategic vulnerability. Fake friends often reveal carefully selected weaknesses to make you trust them emotionally. They tell you painful stories, personal struggles, emotional secrets. But the purpose is not always honesty. Sometimes the purpose is psychological access, because once you feel emotionally connected, your guard lowers naturally. And once your guard lowers, you reveal parts of yourself that can later be used against you. Machiavelli believed emotional exposure should be controlled carefully because information itself is power. The person who understands your fears, insecurities, ambitions, and emotional triggers gains invisible influence over your decisions. This is why fake friends ask many questions, but reveal little that truly makes them vulnerable. They study you while remaining strategically protected themselves. Most people never notice this imbalance because emotional comfort blinds observation, but Machiavelli would notice it immediately. He understood that the person collecting the most emotional information usually possesses the most psychological advantage later. Think about how fake friends behave during your weakest moments. Some disappear completely when you struggle because your value to them decreases. Others stay close but secretly enjoy your confusion because your weakness restores their emotional superiority. Machiavelli believed one of the clearest signs of hidden resentment is subtle satisfaction during another person's suffering, not open celebration. Quiet emotional comfort. The fake friend becomes calmer when you fail because your failure reduces the pressure your success placed on them. And this is why Machiavelli warned against trusting appearances alone. Human beings perform loyalty easily when circumstances are comfortable. Pressure reveals truth. Success reveals truth. Opportunity reveals truth. Most fake friendships survive only while conditions remain emotionally convenient. But once ambition, competition, or advantage enters a relationship, masks begin cracking quickly. Another psychological trap fake friends use is isolation through influence. They slowly shape your perception of other people. They create suspicion selectively. They encourage emotional dependence on them, while weakening your trust in others. Machiavelli understood the strategy perfectly in politics. Isolated people become easier to influence because fewer perspectives challenge manipulation. The fake friend wants emotional access without competition, so they quietly influence how you see the world. Sometimes they disguise this as protection, sometimes as loyalty, but the goal remains the same: psychological control. And once someone begins shaping your perception consistently, they begin shaping your decisions too. This is why Machiavelli respected independent thinking so deeply, because emotional dependence weakens judgment. The more desperate someone becomes for approval, reassurance, or validation, the easier they become to manipulate socially. Fake friends understand this instinctively. They reward behavior that benefits them emotionally and subtly discourage behavior that increases your independence. They may not even realize they are doing it consciously. But human nature naturally protects self-interest first. Machiavelli believed this awareness protects people from emotional blindness because betrayal rarely arrives without warning. The signs usually appear early, but most people ignore them because truth feels uncomfortable. Yet painful truth is safer than comforting deception. And once you finally learn how to see fake people clearly, something dangerous happens inside you. Manipulation stops working the same way it once did, because awareness changes power completely.